just black and white, we don't have addiction case anymore. Because you can just know and then, okay, I don't do it anymore. Huh? But no, that is not like this. There's no actor. There is a person, but there is no actor who can act. You want or you don't want, there is no. But the mind consciousness is a good gardener that can know what is happening, that can tell you that you are on the right path or not. And then the mind consciousness can decide. Let's say we say, oh, I have this habit and I don't want it anymore. And I want another thing. So we need to do different things slowly for that habit to change. So it's not you to change, but a condition to change. But the question is, there are so many things. What should I do? Yeah. We have discriminative thinking, we have violence inside, we have desire, we have a lot of questions. In my group yesterday, we have a lot of questions about life. How can we answer all of that question? Yeah. To transfer us from suffering to happiness, how can we answer all of that question? All of that confusion about relationship, about our consumption. Yeah, there are so many questions. And we are lucky that our teacher Thai and the Dharma Teacher Council in the past has written down several guidelines for us so that we know what to do and what not to do. And again, to be able to do is not you. Yeah? So we need to cultivate, we need to touch that seed. For example, if I don't want to have discriminative thinking anymore, we have to touch the seed of non-discriminative thinking so that it grows by itself. Yeah? Another question. Do you think the tomato farmers make the tomatoes? I don't know, some people say tomatoes, some people say tomato. But you know what I'm saying, yeah? So please forget the pronunciation. So, is there any farmer who make tomato? Yeah?
He watches them.
He take care only, but he does not make the tomato. No farmer made the tomato. So the same with this non-discriminative thinking and non-discriminative action, no one will be able to make it, but you can cultivate it, you can water it to be there in your system. The right love, the true love, you cannot do the true love, you cannot make the true love, but you can cultivate the true love to be there, and you can harvest it. So the 5 mindfulness training is designed for that. It's designed for us to take care of our violence, especially now with the situation of the world. If we are not careful, we water the seed every single day. The seed of separation, the seed of hatred, the seed of polarization. And we need to train ourselves to cultivate another kind of thinking called non-discriminative thinking. And to watch the violence in us. And this training says like this: aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I am committed to cultivating the insight of interbeing and compassion and learning ways to protect The life of people, animal, plants, and mineral. I'm determined not to kill, not to let others kill, not to support any act of killing in the world, in my thinking or in my way of life. Seeing that harmful action arise from anger, fear, greed, and intolerance, which in turns come from dualistic and discriminative thinking, I will cultivate openness, non-discrimination, non-attachment to views in order to transform violence, fanaticism, dogmatism in myself and in the world. That's how it sounds like. So beautiful. So beautiful. It tells you what you need to pay attention and what you can cultivate. So when we say, I'm committed to cultivate the insight of interbeing, and I'm committed not to kill, I determine not to kill, for example, it's a very difficult thing to do. It's probably not you who can do that. Maybe you have to cultivate that quality in you in order to be able to not kill. Yeah. Is this translation okay? Do you have a good text? Okay. I'll give you the right text. Yeah. So you don't have to memorize what I'm reading, yeah? You can take the text later on, read it, digest it, feel afraid about it. Because sometimes it sounds very scary. Yeah? It's so idealistic sometimes, yeah? So we have to practice non-idealistic also. This is the best version of a human being that we can. It is not perfect, but the best human being that we can imagine. But it does not mean you have to be perfect. Nobody can be perfect. But this is a good North Star, it's a good direction for us to direct ourselves when we are in a complete confusion, we are in a complete doubt on ourselves. The second mindfulness training, true happiness. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing and oppression, I'm committed to practicing generosity in my thinking, in my speaking and acting. I'm determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. And I will share my time, energy and material resources with those who are in need. I will practice looking deeply to see that the happiness and suffering of others are not separate from my own happiness and suffering. The true happiness is not possible without understanding and compassion, that running after wealth, fame, power, and sensual pleasure can bring much suffering and despair. I'm aware that happiness depends on my mental attitude and not on external condition, and that I can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that I already have more than enough condition to be happy. I am committed to practice right livelihood so that I can help reduce the suffering of living beings, stop contributing to climate change, and heal and preserve our precious planet. So our happiness is not an individual happiness. This is about the planetary happiness. It's related to everything else. This is very clear, because the level of our happiness is not personal. It's not only personal. We interbe with the political, social, and the world. That's why we need to be mindful, because life is not about my life only. My life is also other people's life, the world's life. And now, for example, we know how many people suffering from war. And of course, from time to time, we cannot feel fulfilled in our daily life. We feel a little bit having background in our life of disappointment, of, we cannot trust. The feeling of despair is in the background. It's normal because we interact with what is happening. And therefore we need to be careful. We want to be careful. We want to be present to acknowledge that there is suffering in the world, and I also suffer. And that is why I have to be careful with my thinking, with my speech, and with my action. Because what is happening in my mind, the nature is hijacked my whole system. So I may disassociate with what I'm experiencing. Maybe I'm experiencing fear on the world, but without being present, maybe my speech will influence my relationship with my friends, with my loved one. So that is why the being attention, being mindful on what is happening, to know what is happening in the body, to know what is happening in the mind, is very important. So we know where it comes from. So the happiness here is the happiness of a non-dependent on condition. We stay in the present and see what is the good condition that we can touch the good seed. I think you already experienced it. I don't need to explain more. After 3 days, you have touched so many good seeds. And this seed is free. Your happiness in this week is free from being wealthy. It's free from being famous. Your happiness is not depends on how many likes, how many views. Yeah? And your happiness is free from being powerful on someone else. There's no complexes, there's no superiority, there's no inferiority. There's no sensual pleasure in this happiness. We all connected as friends. Yeah. We don't try to be someone else. I don't see anyone wear makeup here. Wonderful. You are fully who you are. So everyone who look at you, they look at you, really. Yeah. And so this is something that we are invited to come here as a community, because alone we cannot do much. We need the support of friends on the path to practice together, to cultivate mindfulness together, to cultivate joy and happiness together. Here, the consciousness is everyone is doing their best to come back to themselves. And that's why we have this very powerful, peaceful energy and presence. We're also doing our best not to use screen so that we can look at the real person rather than the screen. And this is something very amazing that we can experience this week. The third one, this is the most difficult trainings that I have to explain. Through love, because we don't study at school. Maybe some of us, we don't really inspire to see the love of our parents too. Maybe the love that we learn is from film, or story. So it sounds like this. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I am committed to cultivating responsibility and learning ways to protect safety and integrity of individual, couple, families, society. Knowing that sexual desire is not love and sexual activity motivated by craving always harm myself as well as others, I am determined not to engage in sexual relation without mutual consent, true love, or deep long-term commitment. I resolve to find spiritual support for integrity of my relationship from my family members, friends, and Sangha with whom there is support and trust. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and family from being broken by sexual misconduct. Seeing that body and mind are interrelated, I am committed to learn appropriate ways to take care of my sexual energy and to cultivate 4 basic elements of true love: loving kindness, compassion, joy, and inclusiveness, for the greater of happiness of myself and others. Recognizing the diversity of human experience, I am committed not to discriminate against any form of gender identity or sexual orientation. Practicing true love, we know that we will continue beautifully into the future. So this is how we explain what need to pay attention for true love. This training does not say sex is not good. I need to make it explicitly clear. This training just want to tell you, sex is one thing, love is another thing. Yeah. Actually we need to add more here, called relationship unit. It is not mentioned here. Because now we are very busy to define what is the best relationship. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it creates more confusion than it should be. Let me ask first before I explain. Have you heard about polyamory? Who has heard about polyamory? Okay, everyone knows. Not everyone, but most of us. Who heard about open relationship? Yeah. It's too many. Yeah. It makes us more confused. Who still know monogamous? Okay, everyone still know. Good news. Yeah. So I would like to just to tell you, sometimes we have this idea that the other unit is better than monogamous. Or sometimes we think monogamous is better than the other unit. But that is not true. I can say, no, it's not true. It depends on who, it depends on how. Because there are people who come to me who is monogamous exclusive. Do you know what is monogamous exclusive? Huh? They are monogamous. They don't look at, or they don't look around. Only one person to one person. They have problem. Okay? And then there's another couple who come who is monogamous open. So somebody tell me, oh, I have just divorced after 10 years of marriage, monogamous open relationship. We also have some people tell me like, oh, I'm just quitting my polyamory relationship. It becomes very toxic. Yeah. So no matter how many units we want to create, It's not the unit that make the love more sustainable. It's really how to love is the one that is the most important for a relationship to continue. How deep a relationship can continue is the way we love. And here is very clear, the 4 elements of true love. The first is loving kindness. How can we be kind? First of all, to ourselves. Yeah. We have to continuously to identify our self-criticality habit of not good enough, not do enough. Yeah. We need to stop that habit. There's a word I cannot pronounce. Last talk I cannot pronounce, this talk I cannot pronounce also. Procrastination? No. Procrastination? Is that correct?
Procrastination.
Okay, procrastination. Okay. Yeah. Can you translate into French?
Procrastination.
That's correct, maybe, yeah. It's the incapacity to do things, to think, to do. And sometimes we use that as our self-criticality also. But actually we are just overloaded by information and our life. And maybe it's time to diet. Like this week we have a chance to have a screen detox. It's very helpful to heal our procrastination. So that we don't postpone the things, we can think, we can have energy enough to do something, to think our life. Yeah. Otherwise it's too full. To plan something, we cannot plan anything because it's too full in our head. Yeah. So being kind. If you can be kind to yourself, you can be kind to others too. We can build friendship. The second is compassion. Compassion is to know how to take care of our suffering. This is one of the 4 diligence. To take care of our suffering, to stay with, to breathe with. And we need the Sangha to support us, that we know there are people around us supporting ourselves in going through our suffering. So if we can do that to ourselves, we can also do that to the other people. We can